Welcome back. For the past week, I was not able to do much with the game dev. I spent a lot of days not sleeping much. Since I quit my previous job, I've been sleeping very late at night. In the first few months, I was binging on Netflix watching any anime series that would pique my interest. But lately, I decided to make myself productive and started this game dev. I've also started learning Excel VBA and doing some projects that I could add in my portfolio. I've been switching between these two projects and my sleeping hours got worse. This is also coupled with unhealthy eating habits. So, in the end, my immune system dropped, and I'm having severe headache attacks these past 2 months. It was bad that I had a burning sensation in my eyes when I stare at anything that produces light. I have not recovered yet, I still feel heavy now. But life must go on. On that note, I'm guessing that the productivity will drop since I will be working on with scripting. I am starting to get bits and pieces from watching tutorials and reading the core API. But I think I need to learn the fundamentals to understand the community content I am using. My code also looks very long compared to what I have seen in the community content. I will keep the weekly update though. Moving on. In this video, I was able to make one of the NPC follow a path. Sleep. Wake up. Then go back to her default position. There are 2 NPC waypoint examples in the core content. One is for an NPC skeleton patrol. The other is to make the NPC follow a path, which is the UFO waypoint example. In this example, we will add an object on the map and make the NPC move towards it. I noticed that more waypoints would make the NPC movement smoother. But since I was proving the concept here, I added the least. You can see on the right side that I used a cone for that purpose. How this works is that we have an event broadcast in the day cycle controller. The event is at the bottom of the day cycle controller client script. There are 4 events broadcasted, which are dawn, noon, dusk, and midnight. In our NPC script, we added event listener at the bottom. The listeners are for dawn, noon, and midnight. To test the concept, I added the unarmed eat animation, which would occur at noon. At midnight, I want all NPC to walk to their room and sleep. This draft right now is using move to and look at syntax. I added the look at to make our NPC face the direction it is walking to. I also added the NPC state to disable the NPC from talking to our player when it is walking and sleeping. Here, I only made our NPC interactable in a wake state, which is at dawn until before midnight. To make the movement realistic, I added the unarmed walk forward stance. Next, make the NPC look at the direction, then move towards it. Upon reaching its destination, the NPC will perform the unarmed idle relaxed stance. Lastly, the unarmed sleep side begin. The NPC playback rate multiplier is to make the NPC continue sleeping until the next event. For the dawn, the action is a reverse. To keep the NPC upright when moving, I separated the look at object with the move to object. Therefore, we have 2 cones on one waypoint. The inverted cone is our waypoint, the cone at the bottom is the look at. Here is an example if the look at and move to objects are the same. You can see that the NPC is being angled to match the slope created by the previous and next waypoint. In this next scene, I previewed the game between midnight and dawn. You can see that the NPC performed the midnight script. The next actions for this are to define what should the NPC do when the players load between events. Currently, I have no idea how to do this yet. I'm guessing I have to move the default position of the NPC depending on the event. The challenge is, what to do when more than one player loaded the game at a time. One more thing I added are these light sources, which also has event listener. The events here are dusk and dawn to switch then on and off. To end this video, I found this fish by Riffraff, which has a cool animation. All we need is waypoints to make them swim in this small pond here. And that's it. Thanks, and see you again next week.